Let's continue this. Oh, some of your air units are running. Okay, oh boy. Oh boy, okay. Taking out that air base there, unfortunately. Uh-oh, he may run entirely out of fuel. Looks like it. Looking for an air base somewhere. In this orange zone here. No. Damn, okay. Pushed it too far. Oh, damn. Oh boy, I messed that up. Oh, he's gonna run out of fuel. Let's see, any other air units up? Okay, let's not make the same mistake too many times. I thought he was, but I probably just didn't move him when I should. Okay. Okay, those are good. Yep, nothing I can do about that at this point. I made the mistake earlier. Lose HP point. OOB is not taxing. Okay. We will see how this goes. So I played OOB a bunch, man. I normally make sure I don't run out of fuel. I mean, it's normally something I really make sure I don't do. So I really like the red series. If you know, red, steel, and the other, I forget the titles. Those are really good. The North Africa campaign is good. The Pacific. I played the both the American and Japanese sides of Pearl Harbor recently, back on December 7th. A lot of good stuff with Order of Battle. Like I was saying before, that's what, so far, Panzer Corps doesn't do yet. Panzer Corps 2, or even Panzer Corps 1, is playing both sides of the conflict. I am glad to hear that they are looking at... Okay, there's one unit left at Eros. Okay, so they're just down. You land, fuel, yes, good. Okay, now we know where this infantry unit is. Down here. Just, oh, we also found another one. Okay. You get across the river. You come to here. You come to here. You might as well attack a bit. Sort of no harm, no foul, but next time we'll move up the heavy infantry. Oh, wait, yeah. I keep forgetting to do that at times too. To use the heavy infantry support fire function, if you will. Okay. You're the 47mm anti-tank gun, and you're the 25mm. So we're going to move you to there. We're going to move this unit here. It's not doing well, I know, but a little better than the 1 strength unit there. We're still holding down here. These guys can get out pretty quick. Oh, you know, well, let's move him here. We're pushing back this way, though. This way is looking good that we've come here. They're heading towards this bridge, so let's see what we can do about that. They're still not up there in the north. Looks like the only thing that's going to come soon here is the tanks. So let's move the anti-tank guns right onto the edge of the bridge. You don't want to be actually on the bridge or in the river if you can reasonably help it. Let's move up there. Yeah. That way we're holding the river line. We're holding the river line even better. Okay, so we're doing pretty well here. Okay, you need to fly to an airbase as well. Yep, that one. And land. Now I think you have enough fuel, so you're going to strike. And then come up to here. Okay, even they're doing even better knocking them down. Yes, I am a little paranoid about my air right now, especially some of my weaker French units. So now air bases can only, at least normal air bases can only take off 2 units at a time. Got 3 there, so next turn we can only launch 2 of them. Just keep those kind of things in mind. We have him out there that we could attack, but just not really worth it. And we'll get you away from being unsupported. Spitfire next turn. Hopefully we'll be able to upgrade him. Right, now I believe the Dunkirk scenario is next up on after this, and looks like we're going to get to it this session. Seeing as we only have 3 turns left. Okay, cancel. Let's... Yeah, I just want to check. Yeah. And it's quite reasonable, I think, that the French units like these cannot be upgraded, because in a way, from where they sort of are up in Belgium, and the Germans are moving south around them, as we see with the Arras, I think we're good, attack, is that they're out of communication to resupply reinforcements from France. So we're looking at units that are somewhat cut off, if you will. Not entirely yet, but maybe soon, as in the Dunkirk situation, where the British units can have more local supply dumps and resupply directly in because they're already an expeditionary army. And so with order of battle, as in real life as well, you need to keep your primary objective in mind, as in hold Lille at all times. So, those secondary objectives. Okay, we're now into the phase of sending you up here to see about landing. We're going to reinforce you, get you back up to shape. We're going to launch. Get these guys, because we can't reinforce them. Might as well get them now that they are somewhat better off. Back up in the air. Okay. Now. What we're going to do is we're going to move these guys into the river. Like you say, I normally don't want to do that, but it's going to give these counter-attacking units a little more of a bonus. Yeah, that one's the best to start with. Go after these engineers here. Finding the Matilda's a little difficult to take on. Now taking just get you out of the water. I was thinking about there, but we did see another infantry unit down here, and I think we can maybe wait a turn to push on these guys. Okay, well. This looks pretty good here. This is okay here. Well, no. Let's move you back. You up, because that's just about as good and definitely better if there's an infantry unit coming. We do have some reconnaissance of those 109s up. Yes, new Panzer Corps DLC coming soon. There will be some Panzer Corps gameplay up after this stream, so stay tuned if you will. Though it's going to be a while before the new Panzer Corps 2-Axis Operations 1941 is out. They haven't announced the date. They were hinting at it was like 6 weeks, 2 months. It seemed like they weren't quite sure. One of the things you like about your battle is that you can do more than one air. Yes, against the Hex. I just wish they'd make a restricted undo button. Absolutely, Scooter. Some games allow you to undo anything, and that's okay. You know, not a bad option, because some people, I didn't like the last 3 moves, even attacks. The other would be is like in some games, if not so much like to undo an attack or undo a surprise uncovering of some unit, but if I just clicked up here and oops, and then decided I really didn't want to click that and send that unit up there or something, to have some level of undo would be nice. That is probably my biggest complaint, but I do like the ability to concentrate air. Now, yeah, air attacks, World War II. These are war games that we're playing here. A bit more of a game than a simulation like Command Modern Operation that Push End Gaming presents very well. He knows it much better than I do. But which are really almost more into the simulation level of games as opposed to a game like this. But we're still looking at something based on historical realities. And crossing of the Meuse River, which is before, would have already happened by now in this time period, I do believe. May 22nd, right around now, is a massive focus of German air power. Almost all of the operational bombers that sort of frontline command or whatever you had, somewhat denied permission, I think, up top, but sort of connected down on the operational level. The Luftwaffe just bombs the hell out of the crossings there near Sedan, the far side, the French side. Just sends everything, wave after wave after wave, responsibly, in the sense that units weren't conflicting with each other. Conflict in warfare is a problem if, like, your own side is the idea of 2 squadrons told to attack, you know, at the same time, and one may be, well, like, one could be sort of higher altitude or medium altitude bombers, and the other dive bombers and bombs falling, you know, is, you know, deconflicting the units coming in different waves, if you will. But you can see a massive focused air attack, because remember, everyone, the French Air Force was at least as large, maybe even slightly larger, than the Luftwaffe was. Maybe some of the French air design airplanes are a bit older, a bit out of date, maybe in some of that, compared to the Luftwaffe, which is a newer organization. But, you know, they have the HE, what is it, 51? The sort of biplane fighter, still in operation. So not so much front line, but still on the totals there. And then, of course, you have the RAF and the rather small and not terribly good Belgian Air Force, all operating in whatever's up in the Netherlands eventually. So the Allied air power is better, more because you have the Hurricanes, you have the Spitfires. I don't really know all the French model types here. The D520s and the MS 406s. I really don't know anything about these aircraft. But you have all that, so you have a better Air Force, but you have a much better coordinated Air Force in the Luftwaffe. Again, this sort of mindset between the French and the Germans and who can win. So if you have still over in the continent, they would put these units, because these represent like a squadron or whatever size air unit these are, and they'd be told, oh, patrol this area, this unit, this unit, you patrol this area here. And so they would, be patrolling around here, and the Luftwaffe would be, send in 4 squadrons through this path to escort bombers to bomb this airbase, kind of thing. And so let's just say that there were 4 French squadrons. One would be here, one would be here, one would be here, one would be down here. At the point of impact, where there's like one squadron patrolling, maybe nice up high in the sun, whatever, and spots a German squadron, dives down on it, and then has 3 more German squadrons come in right behind it and chew them up. So that is the story in the air, as well as sort of the story on the ground, is the coordination, the movement, the speed, the velocity of the German forces. So at the point of impact, they're overwhelming. They're not overwhelming. There's more French tanks than there are German tanks. Now, again, 800 of them are leftover World War I tanks, but that's compared to purely machine gun Panzer I's, which I think the Panzer I, someone can check on this, but the Panzer I was still the most common German single type of tank in 1940 campaign into France, the Panzer I. It's definitely not the Panzer IV, which are just super few of them. Panzer IIIs are starting to get in reasonable numbers. Stugs are almost minuscule. I think it's like, I'd be shocked if there was more than 20 Stugs total at the time, if any, hardly at all. So I think they're just almost sort of prototype stage at that thing. You have about 1 division of 38 Ts that's under Rommel. You have basically sort of a division of 35 Ts under, I forget who, another German general. Those are the 2 Czech tanks. Decent tanks. And so like I say, a moderate amount of Panzer IIIs out there, but all the rest of the tanks are Panzer Is and Panzer IIs. Okay, Panzer I is probably arguably better than an FT-17, but not a whole hell of a lot. So French have more armor than Germany does. Now we can talk about how not so good the French armor is compared to the German armor. That's quite true. But then you also have the British armor, which some of that is decent. The Matilda is slow but very good. Yes, but you remember here, we've got the Salma S-35, probably, I would say, the best early war French tank, or French actually designed, made tank. The best, yes, right here. Charby maybe is a close second, but this is probably the best. Okay. This is outstandingly better because this is a 2-man turret, and I believe it's a 2-man turret. Someone again correct me if I'm wrong, and 2 extra men in the hull, or 2 additional men, not extra, but the driver and machine gunner or whatever. And so the coordination ability of a 2-man turret versus a single-man turret just makes this better, even though this is faster. I don't know which one had the better gun and ammo situation, with better penetrating ammo. But, similar there. Better, lighter armor than the Matilda. Matilda particularly has good side armor as well as frontal armor. So it's designed to, wade in amongst a lot of infantry and light anti-tank weapons and be shot at from all sides and still function better. But strategically, tactically, or whatever, the Salma may be better in its mobility and its firepower, but just not having that 2-man turret makes this better in my opinion. And you have some other better British design. You have quite a few British tanks. Now they don't match up to the number of German tanks, but them combined with the French ones and the minuscule number of Belgian tanks are around. But they're just, you know, it's again the philosophy at the point of impact. Germany's going to overwhelm the enemy and keep on moving. Klotzen, what is that? Boot them, don't tickle them. I sort of remember that from Guderian. Hello, Skokolo. So yeah, that kind of thing. And so it's a combat philosophy. It's also a coordination philosophy. Okay. I think we've done all the air. I know I've done all of the ground attacks that I want to do this turn, or can do. So let's... Yes, I know we have unmoved units. The AI here is up with Belgium is just failing on both sides, I think. So I guess it's failing equally. Down here, the AI has been playing pretty good. Well, I maybe should have reinforced them. Oh, we're going after the weaker A. So keep pushing on this guy instead of moving, or artillery the artillery instead of moving up infantry and trying to kill him. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I think he's still there, so what we're going to see about doing is moving you into the forest and attacking. Okay, and we're not going to move you up. Let's move you over here because we can. And we got hurt a little bit, but that's all right. Well, let's think about that for a moment. Okay, up here we are pretty good. Got this river watched fairly well. Also fairly well here. Very well here. Okay, yeah, you come in, land. Where did 109 go? Is it still flying around here somewhere? I also like how in this game they sort of hint at where, if it's sort of closest to operation of what's there, just that it's an aircraft, but you don't know what type it is. Whether they're meaning that to be radar or just simply observing small dots up in the sky way far away being spotted, and then hello, the old gray gamer, how you doing? The beginning of the war, the best armor, their lack of success was due to French doctrine. No, I'm going to disagree, because now if you're talking purely the armor, the thickness of the armor, yeah, the French were probably the best. British really only had the Matildas that were thick. But if you're talking about a coordinated vehicle, a two-man vehicle is just too few people. The single-man turrets on the Charbis, the Salmas, just too much job for one guy. Too much job for one guy. Okay, I think he's going to come here and sort of be a bit forward reconnaissance, and he's going to come up here and be a bit forward reconnaissance. Good. I disagree. Not that I know I'm right and you're wrong. I disagree. Okay, get you guys up in the air. Well, the experts, yeah. But you can find experts that say everything. You know, some expert, you can find an expert that will, you know, say something in just about every field. Okay, I think we're going to move you to the forest. That may give you better cover. Okay, we're going to reinforce. Are you within range? No. Oh, well, for that. And that. So we're going to move you instead of shoot you. Better cover down here. Okay, we're almost done with this, and then we'll be playing the next scenario. Because you have to sort of examine a tank as a whole instrument. If one area is particularly bad, the other areas can't quite compensate for it. And as Skoko Locos says, radios are a very important thing in tanks that the Germans had in abundance compared to their opposition at this time. Yep, I know we got unmoved units, but it's you and your goals. Like I said, they really should have moved the artillery back to the forest, and earlier on, if you've watched the last playthrough last week, moved the infantry back better to hold there, but I'm surprised the Belgians are holding as well as they are. The Germans have not really shown interest in attacking there. Got their armor fairly well reinforced here, but they're just not using it well. Okay, so we've got the units at Eraz sorted. Okay. Now we're going to withdraw from that to here. There's no point pushing. Here we have this held. Again, remember the objectives. Oh, hello. There's a lot of forces over here. Uh-huh. Now that you're reinforced, come up there. That could make an excellent push, but it's just too late for them to achieve their goal. I don't think I'm going to push there. I don't think I'm going to push down here. We're just sort of in a holding pattern, I guess, for this turn. It's what fun are experts if they don't disagree with each other and argue about things. That's the point of being an expert. Okay, victory. Your force and the whole BEF performed well, but the Germans moved through the Ardennes, and their breakthrough at Sedan has thrown all of our plans into question. As Allied forces withdraw towards the Channel, it is critical to maintain combat discipline, even under great threat of getting cut off by further German attacks. Soon. Okay, so we've resisted German offensive. I've always been complaining that that is... I don't know what that means. I mean, I get the words. I don't know. Hold it, Lil. Yeah, we got that. And we got two of the secondary objectives. So, close. I'm going to save. We save. Okay.